back for more man-sized wrestling from Louisiana. I'm your ringside host, Boyd Pierce. We'll be back to the ring for a little more action in just a minute. But first, we've got to meet with the hot wrestling duo that will be facing off the Rock and Roll Express this Tuesday at the Armory. Hi, I'm your ring announcer, Boyd Pierce. And I are talking with the Nasty Mule and the Dirt Road Bandito. This Tuesday at the Armory, they're going to be going up against the Rock and Roll Express. Tell me, Nasty Mule, they say you're not so tough. They say you're not so big. They say you can't do no damage to them. What do you got to say about it?
I was raised on the farm. I am the Nasty Mule. I was raised on sweet potato and raised on hard work. And you think that rock and roll some kind of heathenistic, non-religious background where these boys can come in and take away the grass and ground roots that I have made myself into the man. Look at Nasty Mule, man. Look at it. Yeah,
that's fine, Mule. That's fine.
That's a good man there, too.
Yeah. But tell me about this chainsaw.
They bust my head open with the back of the chainsaw. Therefore, they don't go, man. I don't like for that. She talked to my mama about that stuff. You bust on my head. She don't like seeing me all punched on.
All right. Let's talk to your partner here. What do you got to say? They say you're not tough. They say your partner's a sissy. What do you got to say about that, huh?
I think he's swayed. Look at that chest. It's so manly.
Gentlemen, what Kay says, and what Kay says goes. Right now, I've got a really hot group for the West Coast. And I mean really hot. Manly sweat. Up next tonight on Kay Says is a group right from Midwest United States. I mean Idaho. They're called Corporal Punishment.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I called you up just to say hello, and heard his voice say, just wait a minute. Am I wrong? Is it another foe? I just want the truth, so how can I get it? Won't you tell me how you feel? If you just wait a minute, can't wait forever. What's the deal? Can you just wait a minute and knock on the door? I don't think you're alone, but all I hear is wait just a minute. The back door slams, it's the other man. I keep coming back, why don't I quit it? Won't you tell me how you feel? If you just wait a minute, I can't wait forever. What's the deal? If just wait a minute, I'd really like to know why the hell I love you so. I'm like a loser on a daytime TV show. Another bow. I just want the truth, so how can I get it? Won't you tell me how you feel? Just wait a minute, I can't wait forever. What's the deal? Just wait a minute, I really gotta say it. I don't like being treated
Willikers used cars for the lowest prices in the universe. Hey, parents, don't forget to bring the kiddies out this weekend. You'll see TV's The Nasty Mule like you've never seen him before.
Hi, this is Kay Says, and you know what Kay Says goes. Tonight we have a special treat. We've got a new album out by one of those great wild new singers that you're going to love to know.
That's right, the Nasty Mule also sings other of your Beatle favorites.
When I get to your house, I'm gonna take you aside, and I'll take you home, and I'll go for a ride, and you'll wave at me, you're looking.
And who could forget this beautiful ballad?
Dead birds squished in my lawn at night.
That's right, the Nasty Mule sings. Not available in any store, but available at your local record rink and wrestling counter.
She got that silver. She
Well, now, my pretty, now you're in my power. I vanquished the Blue Blunder, and now you and your father, Professor Hawthorne, will have to do as I say. Ha! So take this, and this, and this, and this. Aha!
What a fiend!
It's the Blue Blunder.
I thought it was Rudy the first time. You're worse than Jock Itch.
Gee, Blue Blunder, you're the greatest.
Thank you, Boy Blunder. I'm so happy I feel a song coming on. Please join me.
If I had a hammer, I'd hammer in the morning, I'd hammer in the evening, all over this land. I'd hammer out danger, I'd hammer out a warning, I'd hammer out the love, the dreams, my brothers and my sisters, all over this land.
Welcome back to Up Front. Our Mr. Telepathy has just been rushed to the hospital. We will get word on him later. Our next guest this afternoon, we have Mr. Wendell Stool. He's an expert on superheroes. He's also quite a collector. We'll be taking calls in just a minute. But first, I'd like to ask Mr. Stool. He told me he's brought some things with him today for our studio audience. What have you got with you today, Mr. Stool?
Yes, I've got part of my extensive collection, parts that I find really interesting. I have an original piece of the dragon scale shield used by the dragon slayer, none other than a bat ring that is thought to hold many special powers dealing with the Batman cult. And this prize, a distilled and mellowed mixture of epithelial tissue from Ice Woman and Wonder Woman. And this one, guarded at all times by a Hodaba, my replica of the Gavel of Justice, used by the Blue Blunder in his perils with the law destruction.
Well, I've heard of the Blue Blunder. We did try to get him for our show this afternoon, but he was not available. He was on another mission elsewhere. We will be taking calls in just a moment. I did want to ask you something which pertains to our phone line. What do you think of the violence that we just had a few moments ago, and do you think that superheroes should continue to be jealous and fight each other whenever they seem to get around each other?
Well, this is a question that is very hard to understand the answer, because we, not being superheroes, know nothing of the makeup of a superhero ego. So this must come into great conflict with the media publication of, say, one superhero over another.
Okay, I guess that answers our question. Well, what do you at home think? We'll be taking calls. You're on the air.
Yeah, my name is Emmett, and I've got a question for Mr. Stu. I'd like to know, first of all, how do the superheroes keep their hair in place while they're flying? How do they do this?
The actual hair-looking material on top of the superhero's hair, on top of their head, is not actually hair. It is a lot denser, and they need no type of care for it. It's just something that comes along with being a superhero.
Well, what's it made of? It looks just like hair.
No one has ever really sampled their hair to see if it is actually made of some foreign substance we know nothing of.
I see. Well, thank you, Mr. Emmett. That's not quite the subject we were on, but you're on the air.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. You're on the air.
Yeah, I'd like to ask Mr. Stu a question.
Mr. Stool, that is.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Yes, Mr. Stu, man. All right, hey, man, you know like my sister Teresa?
Thank you. Next, please, you're on the air. Thank you.
Yeah, this is Charles. Now, I got a question. I want to know, how come there ain't no blacks amongst the superheroes?
Well, what do you have to say about that, Mr. Stool? Why aren't there any blacks?
This is a very good question. There's a lot of color spectrum in the superheroes with the Flash, the Hulk, Aquaman, everything else. The only thing that I have come up with is that maybe black is not a real good color to put the flashy uniform on that goes along with superhero.
Well, what about silver, gold? Don't they seem to go with blacks these days anyway?
I deal more with superheroes than actual color texture and the clash or cohesion of such.
Okay, thank you. You're on the air.
What are you wearing?
Thank you. That's all we have for today. Thank you for joining us with Upfront. We haven't heard anything from the hospital, so we'll let you know on our next program, or you'll hear it on the local news. Thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you next week.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, the Nasty Mule back from California with his plan for training. It's called exercise. All you need to train with the mule is my book on primitive dialects, some method for electrical shock, and some march beat instructions. Music, please.
Welcome back. We're as surprised to be here as you are, but the telecast, which was supposed to be shown next, has been canceled due to technical difficulties. Be sure and tune in next week for the further adventures of Chastity Lovelace with her dog Spot. We'll be taking some phone calls in just a moment, but I've just gotten word in that we have a live report just in from the county hospital on the condition of Mr. Telepathy. Take it away, live report. Thank you, Bertrand. I understand we will be getting some more reports as things develop in just a little while. Our phone lines are now open, and Mr. Stool and I will be taking some more questions on superheroes. Isn't that right, Mr. Bertrand? Are you ready?
Yes, I am ready to take some more questions.
All right. We'll get started right away. You're on the air. Welcome.
Yeah, this is Eugene, and I was calling. I'd like to know if the superheroes have your sexual experiences.
Do you mean sex with other superheroes or sex with laymen?
Well, either way, sex with superheroes or with laymen, yeah.
Actually, an event of such magnitude as two superheroes coming together in sexual union would possibly not be recorded due to the very bright light put off. But actually, with humans, the magnitude of the event and the density of the actual superhuman genitalia make it impossible.
Well, we'll just take the next call. Thank you for calling. You're on the air.
Yes, I have a question for Mr. Stool, please.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we hear you fine. We hear you fine.
How come I can't keep the sound on my TV when I talk to you?
Why don't you turn your TV down? That would help.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Miss Candy. By the way, may I say that's an attractive wardrobe you have on tonight?
Is that your question?
Oh, no. I wanted to ask Mr. Stool if he thought all this nonsense with the superheroes, all this competition, is it really fake? You know, like professional wrestling.
Well, that's very interesting. You should bring that up. For someone like me to make a living studying and collecting various paraphernalia that has gone along with the, should I say, superhero craze, it has come to my attention that there are a lot of silly Americans, should I say, such as the street hog, that are really not superheroes.
I beg your pardon? Excuse me, Candy.
You're not. I can tell you you're not.
I am. Don't you call me a baby.
You can't.
You little...
I can't believe this is happening. We're going to have to be back.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. The Nasty Mule. And when I drink diesel brand 191 green alcohol. Give me a drink, jackass. 191 green alcohol, diesel brand, mellowed with the mule in mind. Give me another drink, jackass.
I don't care how big he is. I wouldn't let him talk that way to me if I were you.
He always does that.
Diesel brand grain alcohol, mellowed with the real man in mind. And now, the Tomas Tropical Show.
But I don't like lobster. I like potatoes.
The name is Sean O'Flannery, O'Grady, O'Toole, and I'll bite anything.
For lobster? I don't like lobster. I like potatoes.
All right, Tropical, the gig is up.
Hey, man, what's going on, man?
Stealing jokes is downright un-American. Let's
That was my brother, man. Hey,
We've heard it all before. We've heard it all before.
What's going on?
Louisiana, Tuesday nights at 8.
It's okay. Is he gone now, man? Is he gone?
Aye, he's gone.
Oh, thank goodness. You know, for a minute there I was kind of worried. Oh, but don't worry about my brother. It's okay. I know he'll be mad for a little while, but maybe I'll buy me lobster dinner and forget the whole thing, you know? But I don't like lobster. I like potatoes. Why you be pushing the lobster so, lad? I think you should push potatoes. I'm a good mind to whack you with me big shillelagh. And another thing, the things you be saying about me mom and a goat down by the barn. And she's a decent woman, even though she got the figurines out of the potatoes. And you at home, fancy green soap you get from America.
Later tonight, don't forget to watch Stump the Band. It's an exciting show that you, the home audience, can participate in. That's Stump the Band coming up this evening.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. The Nasty Mule with Mule Talk. Where the mule talks about turf. Where the mule talks about bodily gases. Where the mule talks about wrestling. Today's guest on Mule Talk. Today's guest, Mr. Bester Boyle. Soon to be endorsing the exercise method of training. Soon to be on the trials of Father Nelson. Welcome, Bester. you been, Master? Hey, I can't wait to get you on that exercise program, Fester. Tell me, Fester, what you gonna do for the people today? I'm gonna do an impression. Fester Boyle's doing impressions, ladies and gentlemen. Only on Mule Talk. Only on Mule Talk, ladies and gentlemen. Lights and camera action. Fester, go to work, son. Hold that moment. My impression of Paul McCartney. Paul McCartney. Hello, this is Paul McCartney from England. Ha 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 ha! I like it, Fester. Ah, they like it too. This man drinking diesel brand 191 grain alcohol is a man after me on hot. Time to go for a commercial break, I say. Remember, Mule Talk for the Mule Talks. Turf. Bodily gases, wrestling, and Fester Boyles on impression. Mule Talk.
These clouds are brought to you by Diesel brand 191 grain alcohol. We're going to be talking a few times these next months about Diesel brand 191 grain alcohol and its natural mellowing process using fecal remains from livestock animals. That's Diesel brand 191 grain alcohol, mellowed with the mule in mind.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. The Nasty Mule here with my friend Street Hog. We've banded together to form Mule Hog Turf Care. We don't need internal combustion. We use primitive means to keep your lawn in mule hog shape. I may dig it, he may eat it, but you can rest assured when it's taken care of by the Mule Hog team, you'll have a Mule Hog type lawn.
Remember, it's really clean.
Is that it? Close. You gonna play the song? Get here.
And now, Alvin McCormick, his arms and the limbs.
Go right back in the verse. Why are you doing all this hot shit?
You were going so high, so I went, oh, blood.
All right. To give him one more chance, we'll take another guitar player. Who knows Folsom Prison Blues? Come on, the clock is running, gentlemen. We don't have all day.
Try it again.
Thank you, Alvin McCormick, his arms and his limbs.
Baskin Robbins, I hit your fingers.
Yeah. Streak?
Do you have a streaker?
Yeah, the bunch of drag show.
Nothing on, and you pay so much money for the cable.
I don't even...
Karen, tell us about your life in the ring.
I am not Junkyard Dog this week.
Well, who are
This
you?
week, I am the Russian Bear.
Russian Bear? Russian Bear, ladies and gentlemen, did you hear that? Now tell me, who is the little lady?
I do not know her. She doesn't come here. But I will tell the Road Warriors. I hit her. Next time we are in the ring, don't come. Because I know the Junkyard Dog. I am the junk... Never mind. I'm gonna murderize you. It's gonna hurt. So don't come.
You heard it first here, ladies and gentlemen. Gordon Soley at home with the Russian Bear. That's who he is this week. Tell me, Bear, do you have a family?
All the wrestling fans of my family, I wrestle for them every week. I love the wrestling fans, Gordon, and they love me.
Well, tell me, what's your favorite TV show?
The Mr. T cartoons in the morning on Sunday, Saturday.
Sunday, Saturday, does it make any sense? Is it true that wrestlers lose their memory after only a few bouts in the ring?
I think it's the turnbuckle that does it, Gordon. When they slam your head into the turnbuckle repeatedly.
Do you have any scars?
Right here. She takes the scars for me.
So tell me, I understand her name, Cookie Malone, comes here on weekends to visit the dog. Well, I guess this week, the bear.
She is the Russian Bear, Ines.
I never had a Cookie Malone.
Cookie Malone from the streets of San Francisco. We know you by your identifying mark on the cheek.
You know I've had a hard time, Gordon. You know that life has not been the best for the dog.
Not the best.
Now we're
What do
seeing
you
the
mean?
light. We're seeing some kind of hope at the end of the tunnel. You know I got blinded by that hair remover from the Freebirds. You know that I got the brain car put on me by Ivan Koloff. You know that that put so much pressure on my frontal lobe that I had to have some kind of pressure alleviation operation. But I can still wrestle, Gordon. I'm still a big hunk of meat that can pounce on anybody and hurt them. I can slam King Kong Bundy. I can hurt the giant. But
I see. Thank you, Junkyard Dog. Well, the Russian Bear, this week alone. Gordon Soley saying a good night.
Our story so far. Wealthy Playboy adventurer Eric von Strobel, on his search for the fabled Star of Poughkeepsie, has found himself in Morocco in the desert with the beautiful Marlena Moulet, former cocktail waitress and ex-girlfriend of Otto Hellsmith, who was the last known keeper of the Stone of Poughkeepsie. Last seen in Morocco in the company of one Hector Ramirez, soldier of fortune and merchant of terror. Known to have been a double agent, has been seen in women's clothing at the Portside Bar Kiwi, suspected of bizarre sexual acts with a pine cone, accused of instigating the stampede of wild goats through O'Hurley's Bar in Brooklyn, and makes a point to break wind in crowded elevators. And sometimes comrade of Otto Hellsmith, who was the last known keeper of the Star of Poughkeepsie. Our story begins.
Eric, I don't know if I can go on.
That's okay, Marlena. I'll carry you.
Oh.
Fools! They'll never make it across the desert. I alone will be the keeper of the Star of Poughkeepsie.
Okay, you've got 60 seconds.
Get your hands off me, slime. Who do you think you are?
I'm Eric von Strubel, Playboy adventurer.
Play jerk milk toast, if you ask me.
Hey, we got time to take a squirt?
You're disgusting. Get your hands off me, you
3,
scum.
2, 1.
Oh, Eric, you're wonderful.
Just hang on, Marlena. We should be there soon.
Oh, Eric, darling, who is that?
Who is that guy?
Nigel McFarlane, the English ninja.
Easy Radio, the star of Poughkeepsie.
Yes.
Well,
You get water and shaving cream all over.
recording, so I thought I would come up here and be in the film while they're back there getting ready for the wedding. And it's Mike and Jim Overley. And it's tonight at 7. The Lutheran Church. Here's Keith. He's my Valentine. Today's Valentine's Day, you know. Happy Valentine's Day.
Look at that.
Having a wedding.
Look
You
at
have
that.
another wedding.
Don't look at yourself on the camera.
Quit talking to me. Causing trouble.
Who are trying to sell these fine used cars here at Billy Joe's used car lot. Come with me. Billy Joe. How you been, buddy?
Well, hi. How you doing? How you doing?
This is my friend Billy Joe and his wife Jean, and they sell these fine antique cars. Take a look. Billy Joe, what do you have for us?
Oh, no, we want to turn that off. We decided we didn't want to advertise with this particular, excuse me, get out of here.
No, Billy.
No,
Billy.
you got to turn that thing off.
Billy.
You got to turn it off.